Hi everybody, it's Sarah Cray and I teach watercolor, and today we are doing our Let's Make Art Matter postcard for our March Maintaining Balance box. This is a project we will be doing.
Let's Make Art Matter.
So as you can see, this is similar to our For the Birds project that we did that month, but we added a cloudy sky background, which is fun.
I'm so excited about.
Me too.
Because I love the other project, but I wanted to see other ideas.
Yes, and I love this because it shows you that like there's a lot of range in what you can do with what we send you, adjusting it, making it your own, trying new things, like just a great way.
Yes.
Okay, so we will be doing this project in 3 steps. We'll be doing our background, our telephone wires, and our birds.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. The colors that I'm using are azure blue, deep yellow, and red. Okay. Now, first things first.
I'm the realist.
The recipient for this month is actually your choice. We sent this postcard with just a stamp, but the address lines were left blank. And that's because we wanted to celebrate March 8th is International Women's Day. And when I did the For the Birds project, I was talking about how there are people in our lives that help us maintain the balance that we're trying to achieve with the many responsibilities that we have. And so I thought it'd be really fun if we thought about specifically in honor of International Women's Day, the women in our life who have helped supported us, helped us when maybe we needed it, or were there for us in any capacity. This could be a family member or a friend or a neighbor or just someone that you want to show appreciation to. I thought that this would be a cute little postcard to send to them, to say thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, when it comes to clouds, sometimes we get a little stressy because we're like, clouds. And maybe that's just me because I spent an entire semester painting just clouds. And that was probably one instance where I really felt like I got worse the more I painted them. Wow. Which is normal. So for some of you guys who are just like, I feel like I'm getting worse, that's totally normal in your creative journey, where what I'm saying is stick with it and you will get out of that slump. But now whenever I see clouds, I get a little anxious because I just go right back to that semester where I painted so many clouds and it didn't turn out a lot of the time. It's okay. Okay, so I'm telling you, as I'm telling myself, don't stress and don't overthink these clouds. We're gonna work really quickly, and we're essentially gonna let the paint and the water and the paper towel do the work for us. We're not trying to be super precise with these or focus so much on like volume. And the wonderful thing about clouds is there's different types of clouds, and there are many different colors, many different shapes, many different like structures. Sometimes they're thin and wispy, sometimes they're like big, powerful, thunderous things. So there's so much variation in what we see, allowing us freedom to really make these clouds be whatever we want them to be, okay?
Okay.
So I'm essentially gonna think about, before I paint, where I want the white clouds to be. And I'm saying, quote, white, because we're really just letting the white of the paper show through. So if I'm going off my reference photo, I did kind of a cloud here and I did a cloud down here. And I'm just making a mental note of those areas. If you want to use a pencil to lightly sketch, you're free to. I'm not going to though, okay? I'm just gonna be aware. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take my round 6, and this part is gonna be quick. So if you're watching this, maybe watch this first before you attempt it, because I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna wet the whole area with just water, and I'm using my round 6 for this. I taped my postcard down so it does not warp, because watercolor warps when you paint on it. That's just the way it goes. Watercolor paper. Okay?
Okay.
Nice and wet. I'm gonna grab some azure on the side here and just drop it in. And I'm gonna do like an uneven shape over here. So there's like a white blob right there. And then fairly quickly along those edges where the white meets the blue, I'm gonna use my paper towel and pick up, okay? And then I'm going to do the bottom part. Same thing. Put in some blue.
What a cool technique.
Paint around wherever I want the clouds to be. Wherever that color meets the white, take my paper towel and soften it. And if you want to like drop in color to make some of the areas like darker, you can. Just try and do it quickly so that it just like all like blends and bleeds together. Maybe do some over here.
When you were talking about clouds, I had a memory in 2018. I was deployed in Kuwait, and there was a massive sandstorm. They said it was the worst sandstorm they'd had in 15 years. And the cloud that rolled in over our camp was massive. It was, people had to take panoramic photos of it just to see the entire scope. Whoa. It was over a mile long, wide.
Whoa.
And it was it was probably thousands of feet tall.
Wow.
It literally looked like a wall-mounted cloud of sand coming at us.
That is wild.
Yeah, so clouds can literally be anything. Very challenging. That was the most challenging cloud I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Because it was alive and affected me in a very strange way. Sand was everywhere.
Well, the interesting things about clouds is they're like solid, but they're not solid, which is why I think I had so much trouble painting them, because I really wanted to. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. So in these clouds, when we think of clouds, we think of white, but there's shapes within those clouds and they go in and out and move, which means that there's different values within those clouds. So even like in this cloud down here, I'm gonna put just a little bit of blue to act as like a little bit of shadow on that cloud. So next time you go outside and look at clouds, you'll notice that for the most part, they're not a flat white. Depending on the coloring of the sky and the shape of the cloud, you're gonna have shadows. You're gonna see parts of the clouds that are poking out, some that are receding, some parts that are in front of other parts. And whenever that happens, whenever you're working with multiple planes or layers, there's gonna be different values. And then the color of those values are informed by what's surrounding it, because it's white. So those colors are gonna reflect onto those clouds. So I did a little bit of blue, just a hint of blue, to be like, yes, there's a little bit of shape here, but we don't really know what. And that's my cloudy sky. That's it.
That's great.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
I love that paper towel technique.
Yeah, it's really great and nice, and it just kind of softens it, and you get some like I was gonna say amorphic.
Is that a word?
I don't know.
Oh.
So we're gonna switch the word to organic shapes.
Ooh, I like that.
Thank you.
I'll look up amorphic for us.
That can't be a word. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that dries, and while that is drying, we are going to mix a dark value.
Sarah, you nailed it.
Amorphic is a shape?
Having no defined shape, lacking form, amorphous.
Wait, is it amorphous or?
It's both. It's an amorphous thing is amorphic.
Very impressed with myself right now. Thank you, Keenan.
No problem.
Okay, so I'm going to take red, blue, yellow, and mix a dark value. I'm gonna add more red to that. There we go. Maybe a little bit more blue. Okay, yeah, now I got a nice dark color here. Now my painting is still wet, so I'm not going to do this part yet. You wanna make sure your painting is totally, totally dry before you paint your wires or your birds, because we want them to stay sharp. Okay, so now our painting is dry, and you can add the wires two ways. In the tutorial, I showed you how you can just paint the edge of like a piece of paper and stamp it.
Which is super cool.
Which is cool, or you can just do a thin line. I'll do both, why not?
Yeah, why not? One of each.
One of each. So I'm going to take this dark value that I mixed, paint along the edge of a piece of paper. Okay, figure out placement. And stamp. Don't press too hard or that will slip. That's okay. I'm going to keep going.
Kind of looks cool.
And as you can see in this first one that I did, I pressed a little bit too hard and had a lot of paint on my brush on the paper that it thickened and smeared. I actually almost like that one better than that mark, you know?
Why?
Because at least with this one, I have a nice thin center. So even though it got a little bit texture over here.
Which is cool.
Which I'm never opposed to texture. I like that I at least still got a thin line.
That texture could really just be where a couple wires connect from the pole. We just can't see the pole.
Oh, genius, Keenan.
Yeah, nailed it.
Okay, now I'm gonna actually paint one. So to do a thin line, I'm gonna use my round 2. I'm gonna pick up this dark value. I'm gonna smush the paintbrush on either side to get a nice thin line. And then I'm gonna do vertical hold, so I'm going straight up and down. And then you wanna make sure that you're going kind of fast, because if you go really slow, it's more likely that you'll get some like shaking or unevenness. And you wanna pull from your shoulder, not from your wrist. So ready, set, go. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. So do whatever one you feel comfortable with. And now we're moving on to our very last step, and we're adding the birds. So in the For the Birds tutorial, I kind of went over how to do bird silhouettes, how to break it down into basically 3 shapes, and how if you are a little bit more subtle with the shapes and how they meet together, that's a little bit more realistic. So if you need some of that background info, you can do that. Now for an overview, if you have not watched that tutorial yet, basically we're doing a big circle for the body, a small circle for the head, and a triangle for the tail. And then whenever those 3 sections meet, I want you to connect them. So then it's not like circle, circle, triangle. Then the shape becomes just a little bit more natural in its transition.
I like how you broke it down in the tutorial a lot.
Yeah.
Because you showed the basic shapes, and then you showed how to create that transition where it's smooth.
Yes. Thanks, Keenan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And of course, the amount and the ratios of the shape will change depending on the direction of the bird. So if the bird is looking straight, like its back is to us, then they're going to be a little bit longer and skinnier, like straight up and down. Where if the bird is to the side, you're going to see more of that kind of round belly and round head, and the tail is going to be on the back end of it depending on which direction. So like there's going to be variations because it depends on the angle of that bird, and that changes the silhouette of it, how much body you see pretty much. So I'm going to have these 2 birds. So this is kind of more of an oval with a little triangle. And that's just the back of a bird looking straight. And I'm going to have its friend right next to it. 2 little bird friends hanging out.
That's the name of my band.
Bird friends?
Bird Friends.
And then I had a little bit of a wave right here, a little bit of when I did my thin line. So I'm actually going to paint a bird right on top of that, looking to the right. And maybe the beak is kind of angled up because it's looking up. It's a tiny little bird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to play with that shape a little bit more. Oh, that's a cute little guy. Okay, that's it. Feel free to add more birds if you want to add more birds. Maybe you do like tons of rows, or maybe the project is just like, if you're sending it to someone specific, maybe it's just like 2 birds because it's like you and that one other bird balancing on this wire. You know, like,
yeah, that's nice.
Play with it, have fun with it, write a little note of thanks for being my friend, thanks for balancing on this wire with me like you're a bird and I'm a bird. I'm really good with
really
words.
Specific.
Okay. If you don't know what Let's Make Art Matter is, every subscription box we have a pre-addressed, pre-stamped postcard. And the whole idea is to realize that art has a way to connect us with each other. It's not about the painting itself. It's not about the perfect painting. And it's not about the perfect words to comfort someone or show appreciation. It is about recognizing that someone took a moment out of their day to make something for you because they were thinking about you. And I think that when we can do that and show appreciation and show love and comfort and thought towards each other, we recognize that we're all each other has, you know, in this world. And it's hard. And sometimes we go through, I mean, everyone experiences pain or joy or sadness or sorrow, and no one likes to feel alone. And so if we can just take a moment and say, I've been thinking about you. You are important. You make my life better. Like, I just think that we can make the world a kinder place, especially when we do it together, especially when we as a community can show up for people or organizations or someone who needs a little lift. So if you know someone that maybe would enjoy receiving postcards, you can nominate them on our website, letsmakeart.com. Scroll to the bottom. There's a nominate button for you there. This one does not have an address, so anyone can participate. You don't have to have the postcard in this. You can just send it to whoever you want. I hope you take the time to do this. I hope you take the time to think about someone that you would like to show gratitude towards and make a little something for them. That's it. Keenan, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next time.